Nexxlegacy.
Underground, your man Brandon in the building tonight. And tonight we got a legend in the building. And before I even put a mic on this guy and salute this guy West Side, I gotta definitely put in, you know what I'm saying, my road dog, big gangster Gav from that LBC. What it do, Gav? What's up?
Shit, what's good? Shit, that track was slapping.
Hey, but you ain't heard shit yet though. Like Jinx got a pyramid of ill joints. Like, I mean, he got a double album out that's out right now. Like, this man got other projects that y'all about to be hit over the head with it. And you know what I'm saying? Me and Gav is gonna salute the guy that. Let me before I even say this. You know, I told this dude when I talked to him on the phone not too long ago that I was a big fan of his music. And for the people out there that don't know, I mean, he was alongside the CIA group with Cube and KD, and, you know, he was a major part of a lot of Cube tracks, you know what I'm saying, from America's Most Wanted to Predator. You know, this man is instrumental in basically, you know, helping out a lot of projects that became iconic. You know, he worked with Coogee Rap. He worked with a lot of R&B artists, too. Worked with Yo-Yo for her first 2 albums and shit. And, you know, this man is not just a fixture on the West Side, but also a guy that I feel like, you know, definitely deserves a lot of worldwide attention. And we're going to say a West Side salute to my man Sir Jinx in the building on the New Truth.
Oh, what up, man? What's pop locking, man? You know, I'm happy to be on your show, man. You know, trying to get this West Coast out there. You know, that's about it, man. Just nothing too big.
Man, I didn't ran off just barely a few highlights in your career. But, you know, when we have all these people out here listening, you know, from all parts of the globe, and I'm pretty sure you know it's a humble feeling that a lot of motherfuckers out there know Sir Jinx as a guy that really helped out so many albums become classics, right?
Well, at some point, you know, I wasn't really surprised. You know what I'm saying? Because I look at it like sometimes when some people get awards or get something, they're really happy. But at some point, I kind of knew what we were doing. You know what I mean? And, like, it was like that's what we were supposed to get. Now, I never knew how much money we were going to get out of it. But I definitely knew that we were going to go at the East Coast with the way we were doing hip-hop at that time. And that was, like, kind of like the person that, you know, that was the coast that we wanted to be just like, you know what I'm saying, or a little bit better. So when we did all the music that we started doing, we were going at the level of being better than Run DMC, being better than Slick Rick and them. So it was almost like having a fighter going into the ring, and you know you finna win. So you don't even have to be jumping up and down when you get the belt.
You just put the belt on your shoulder and just be like, you know, I did that. Let's go, huh?
Nice. There wasn't no clue. This is what I came to do. There wasn't no puzzle in doing that kind of music, you know.
And you said you had that competitive nature in mind. You seen what was going on in hip hop, and you know what? I could be able to put my stamp on it. Let me do what I need to do in order for people to know who I am. And see, that's a cool kind of motivational tool that I know a lot of people out there can be able to kind of, you know, adapt to and appreciate, just for the simple fact that, I mean, you're a hip-hop guy. I mean, you know the culture, the history, everything that came along with it. So I know it's understandable for you to...
This is why I thought I was ready to represent the West Coast. It wasn't even like I wanted to be better than anybody on the West Coast. I just wanted the West Coast to have our own stamp. And I wanted to be a part of the West Coast and be a part of a movement that it would be historical. So I knew that first cast, you know, from the NWA in the Posse album cover, you know, all those guys that was back then, I'm probably one of the only people that can say at least 70% of my childhood fans my childhood friends have sold 1 million records.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know most of my friends that was back in the day, it was just a cast that was almost like an all-star cast for the West Coast when, you know, Dr. Dre, you know, headed the pack. You know, so me being, you know, Drake's cousin, you know, you can imagine how I felt about anybody that touched a drum machine.
Right.
You know, I was really like competitive. Like I was really into hip hop. I really knew how to break dance. I knew how to do graffiti. I knew how to do all the elements of hip hop. So at some point when I started doing the music, I was really passionate about the angle that we were doing because it was not East Coast music at the time.
Right.
You know.
You know what? But one of the things I always got to say, and you know, and I know Gav who was on as well. I know he probably. I mean, I'm gonna ask you because you kind of said it yourself when you said you did the break dancing and stuff like that. So when you seen that culture out there on the east and it migrated out here to the west, you know what I'm saying, with all the different types of things. I mean, what was your what was one of your lasting memories that you could say, you know, not just the graffiti and the break dancing, but just that vibe and how you felt? Like, how did you really feel when you really kind of started really kind of, you know, getting all that stuff into your system, you know, as a hip hop guy growing into it?
I mean, when it was more than just the East Coast movement. You know what I'm saying? It was
right.
It was more or less how the music was changing because you know you had the Last Poets, you had other people that were doing other styles of lyrical type, you know, formats. You know, with your man Dolomite. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the cats had a different form of rap, but it was still brewing. You know what I mean? It was brewing, and then when the East Coast came, you know, I think one of my first favorite songs was Super Rhyme, and you know, Super Rhyme. I think you know he even say take me to the future of 1980. So the record had to be made in 79. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like a campaign for some reason, you know, a lot of the dudes in my neighborhood, you know, some dudes was gangbanging, you know, some other dudes was doing other things, but my attention was more drawn to the arts. So the graffiti was there first, and then the hip-hop came. So I was already in the drawing and knowing about East Coast and different types of graffiti situations even before the Fresh Prince came out. So that was like way, way, way back that I was still dealing with the culture of hip-hop, and I was a part of it. And I wasn't a part of, you know, other things. You know, I wasn't a basketball player. I wasn't a football player.
Right.
So it wasn't, back then it wasn't too much you can do on the quad in high school to get girls' attention. But I figured it out, like, yo, I don't have to be in a band. I'll be a rapper. I'll be a whatever. I'll be the entertainer of the school. So that's, you know, I fell right in place when hip-hop, you know, because like, I ain't a singer. So, you know what I'm saying? So at some point, hip-hop gave a voice to cats that lost their view because they couldn't sing. But now you got dudes that can't sing, that can do music, that get the view across with way more words than any love song.
Right.
It was just born for me, you know, and that's what made me want to participate in doing more, because I felt like I already had research. I already knew that, you know, where you know, the yes y'alls or the check 1 2 1 2. I already knew those were supposed to be implemented somewhere in these kind of songs, and it's supposed to go like this. I always thought I was ahead of the pack, you know, by the way that I learned other rap music that was out at the time.
How do you feel about this? As Sir Jinx is our guest on the New Truth Radio for the Underground, and I mean, and I kind of know how you feel just based on how you talk about hip hop and how passionate you are, and look at your body of work. Your resume speaks for itself. But how do you, as a guy that's been doing it for so long and that's been a factor in this business, how do you feel about the hip hop culture? Like from when you was talking about the graffiti and breakdancing and just that culture, NWA and the posse and so on. How do you feel about the culture?
What, today or just period?
Well, just in general, just how you feel about it in general.
I mean, hip hop is a child without a parent. So at some point, we just started to get people that can say this is right or wrong.
Right,
because rap started so young to where the rappers were young, and it didn't have an adult to tell cats what views will hurt them in the long run, you know. So at some point, rap music is becoming, you know, a way of life, you know, like a religion, you know. So I like the way it evolves because I'm good at what I do, so it has to weed out all the people that think they can do it from a computer. So I like that a lot of people are getting involved with it, and a lot of people can, you know, get their $2,000 computer and sing and act like they're going to be able to sell millions of records with this because it just makes the job easy for me.
Right.
You know, it just makes my sound, my production, and the stuff that I do really last rather than assuming that I'm going to escape the risk, buy the computer, and assume I'm going to make some Lionel Richie music. Yeah, right. Yeah,
all night long, baby. All night long.
You know, so I like the way hip-hop is evolving because it's weeding out some of the guys that were using it as a hustle rather than a platform. You know what I'm saying? So at some point, I sit back, and I believe that if the whole world was in the shootout, I would not get hit. I'm going to be a better shooter. So I know when to step back and be like, whoa, I ain't going to touch that.
That's right.
I'm not going to touch that. Everybody is doing a certain type of music. We all hear it. And, and me as a producer, I'm not trying to be better than somebody else's song.
Right.
I try to make my own music. So when everybody is doing them down south beats and assuming they're going to get on with that, my hands are in the air, and I'll be like, I'm going to wait till this pass. Because I don't want nobody from my past to hear that I'm trying to do something that I didn't make up or I don't have an influence on. You know, that's down south music. You know, it's good. You can be good at doing everybody music, but you got to be good at one style of music first.
Right.
And if you're doing down south music and you from the West Coast, how you know that West Coast people like that kind of music? And you're not even down south to promote it.
Right.
So now you can lose the West Coast, and the down south don't like you because they got millions of other rappers that really rap over that stuff.
That's their lane, you know what I'm saying? And that's the thing that tripped me out sometimes too, Jinx, is that, you know, a lot of people do that in a sense where it's just like, all right, let me get this ill south beat, let me go ahead and spit these ill south, you know, bars and trying to get that fan base, or, you know, hey, let me fit in here, when, like you said, the culture of hip hop to me is you being creative yourself. Like, you know, you bring something out of yourself that's different than anybody else. And that's the thing that tripped me out, Jinx, that I don't see a lot of, is people creating their own lane. We see some of it, but we don't see enough of it.
I mean, people can't get mad at me. I know people get mad and get real mad because I'm saying down south, like I'm against down south. But it's not that I'm against down south. It's just that I'm a part of the West Coast. And this is how I feel, you know. So you got down south, you know, not down, well, you know, you down south cats, you got the New York cats. I mean, you know, it's just that back in the day, hip-hop wasn't gang-related. It wasn't murder-related. It wasn't to where people got killed over a person's opinion. So where I'm from that day, it wasn't like that. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, oh, man, the gangbangers is over there, the hip-hop heads is over here. And I'm talking about my West Coast hip-hop, like, from that angle. So when I look at down south, I applaud their you know, how they got on, and, you know, how East Coast made up hip-hop, rap, West Coast made up how to sell it, and down south made up how to exploit it. So everybody figured out a way to get money out of it.
Is that good?
They learned how to mass produce it.
Right.
The West Coast learned how to put music to it.
Yep.
You know,
so everybody put a scene to it. And Jinx put a scene to it, like you like, to me, I always saw, especially when, you know, a lot of shit that I used to hear from the East, you know, I loved it because, you know, they had their own lane, they painted their own picture. You know, it came to the West, and the West got, I mean, it was real. It was real. I mean, not saying that it wasn't back then, but it was real. It was a real picture being painted. That's
all I'm about. It's just I can critique and know what West Coast music is and where it derives from and how it came to be. So, like, the other genres, I mean, the other areas that, you know, that do music, I applaud them. You know, the St. Louis cats, you know, anybody that does music. But I definitely have a West Coast dub in my hand every time.
That's right.
because when I hear my music, I hear the cars that come from the West Coast. I don't hear 4x4 trucks, or I don't hear jet skis. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
I don't hear a yacht. You know, I don't hear that engine. I hear, you know, when I make music or when I develop all the songs that I make, they usually have to go to an environment that I see in my head without the song playing. And then after whatever environment that's in my head, I make a song that would accommodate that. And I'll be like, ooh, when niggas leave the club, they need a song to play.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
So that's usually where I derive my imagination from when it comes to producing music. Like, it goes more deeper than me saying, let me steal a Pharrell sound, because I don't know where a Pharrell sound would play, where I be at.
Right.
So why would I take his sound just to make some money when it's just going to make my party sound different? When I want it to be the Roger snare, I want it to be the fat bass line. And I'm just real competitive like that. It ain't nothing against that guy, but it's just that I got my plaques on the wall too. And I really rep this West Coast thing, you know, for real.
No, you preaching, man. I mean, you know, you not only are you Sir Jinx tonight, but you Reverend Sir Jinx on the New Truth tonight. Let me ask you this, because I know you got you're the preacher, man. But I love hip hop gospel like this though. But let me ask you this, because I know you got a lot of new stuff that I definitely want you to talk about. But let me ask you this, because you know, America's Most Wanted, and Predator, and you know all the work that you put in with Cube is still classics to this day. Like when and we was talking briefly about it, but I mean, let the listeners know just, you know, your input and you being a factor too, not just, you know, the rapper, a.k.a. Cube, you know, putting in his, you know, his iconic contributions, but also the production behind a lot of work that you did definitely needs to reign supreme. So, you know, let the listeners know a little bit about, you know, just that work that you had to put in to make that thing go.
Well, it was a mutual situation with me and Cube, because, you know, me and Cube go all the way back to when, you know, when he first got introduced to hip hop. So he kind of trusted my word. You know, he trusted my angle on certain views, that when we went to New York, you know, he actually didn't even tell me to go to New York to do anything. He was like, you want to go to New York? And I'm like, yeah, I'll go. And that just meant he was going to New York. You know, Q back in them days, you can go anywhere. He'd be like, hey, you want to go here? You get on the plane, y'all go there. So I'm knowing that they're getting ready to work on America's Most Wanted. So, you know, I brought my own little little disc that they had back in the day. So I wasn't even planned to be on the record, but the connection that me and him had and the beats that I was splashing on him. Remember I said had my arms folded for war. I wanted to go to war with the Bomb Squad. Like that's how I felt until I really ran into I was really up some hip hop shit, man. I swear to God. And it was kind of stupid, but I was a kid, and that's how I felt. And I didn't want to hear what they had to say. I didn't want to talk to them. My arms was folded on them niggas, like niggas. West Coast.
You're like, fuck that, man. This is my lane. You know what I'm saying? West Side to the day I die. Goddamn it, that's what we do.
Was like, you know, she was like, be more friendly with them. I'm like, man, I don't know these niggas. But then Eric Sattler kind of took me to the side and took me under his wing, you know what I'm saying? I was about 19 at the time. So he was telling me that, you know, that my eyes could be their, you know, be their ears, you know what I'm saying? Because they don't know what goes on in L.A., and I can kind of referee what could happen. Like, you know, like we was doing, like, the parts of the album, if you guys remember on America's Most Wanted, that some of the backgrounds are just kind of random. And that's because we couldn't have people doing ad-libs from New York.
Wow.
So we had to fly in ad-libs from L.A. until we end up just flying people in. But these is moves of Sir Jinx. It sounded too East Coast. You feel me? It sounded da-da-da-da. We're trying to build this world over here. We're not trying to really be behind Public Enemy. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to keep it West Coast with a light Public Enemy influence. They had Fight the Power. They had all their good music going.
Right.
And at the time, Either you had that kind of production, or you had the Dr. Dre production, or you had like the Luke Skywalker type of production that was going on at the time.
I remember.
And then actually, Cube went to New York to work with what's his name, Sam Sadler or something like that.
Sadler, right.
Not Eric Sadler.
No.
The dude that did Third Base. The producer.
Shit, I think you are. Sadler, I know is the last name for sure. So yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but the dude that did Third Base, he was really supposed to do America's Most Wanted at first, but somehow he messed up and didn't make the meeting, and then Cube ended up hooking up with Young Chuck, you know, and then they agreed to do it when Cube did I think the Burn Hollywood Burn or something around that time.
Okay.
So, you know, what I do is, you know, I just bring all the elements together and make it work for an artist. Make an album a consistent playing record, you know what I'm saying, at the time, before iTunes. But, you know, it was when a person can put the CD in, and then I heard so many people around the world that lived in California, and then they go far away, and then they pop in the cassette of America's Most Wanted, and it immediately makes them feel like they were in L.A.
Yes, sir.
So, like, America's Most Wanted, I think, was like the first musical DVD, like, with the drive-bys on it. Nobody didn't have action, you know, musical action scenes that didn't exist, you know, at all. And this is, you know, these are the things that I brought to the table to make the record more, you know, more easier to listen to from song to song. Even the sequence of the album was more strategic than people would know.
Hey, Jinx, you know how cold you are, man. Hey, knowing that I was gonna have you on tonight, man, you made me go through my boxes and go dust off that damn America's Most Wanted tape, bro. Like, you made me go get that thing, man. Get it out my.
But that's just that historical. When you know, when young cats is doing music, and then you know they wonder why their music ain't selling. And then, you know, you look at, like, America's Most Wanted album, and I say approximately, you know, $200,000-$300,000 to make the record. And then you see how it sounds 20 years ago. And then you see how some of these guys' songs sound today, now, that don't even last 6 months. You know, and they have to understand is that it's just like a girl. If you don't put too much money in her, she'll fade out fast.
You ain't never lying, bro.
She'll be recycling them clothes. She'll be recycling them shoes. You know, with the scuffs on the back. You'll see them twice.
Straight up.
Like, uh-oh. But if you got a little money with your product, you know, then people will take you more serious.
Real talk.
You know, so it ain't nothing against the new guys that's doing music. I love, you know, the new shit. Kendrick Lamar, his album is banging. I be subbing it. You know, the Whale guy, the Meek Mills. A lot of these dudes is like the brand new legs of hip-hop. You know what I'm saying? They got to make their presence. You know, they got to make their presence felt. And, I love it.
What we're going to do, Jinx, this is Sir Jinx on the New Truth Radio for the Underground. What we're going to do is we're going to run one of your tracks, a new banger off your double album that's
out. Which one you going to play,
man? The Whole World Spins. I think they need to hear that one.
I know you was going to
cold
like
joint
that
right there. That's a cold joint.
That's why I catch the Futuristics right there.
There you go. We're going to come back and we're going to talk about this project, and we're going to talk about some of the stuff that you actually doing for up-and-coming artists, which I think is really dope. So, you know, people lock it in right here. Gab and myself, Sir Jinx.
Word. Yeah.
Right here on the New Truth Radio. That's my dude right there. New Truth Radio for the Underground.
Go crazy on the mic right there.
The New Truth Radio for the Underground. My man Sir Jinx in the building. Gab, you are in the house as well, and all the listeners listening. Hey, I got people. I got my girl and a few other people from the East Coast listening. Man, they're like, man, this is. Hey, I feel like I'm in L.A. and I ain't even been to California. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
so
but
hey, that's what it is.
Music, man. If you hear the songs that I got on the record, you know, if you look on iTunes, bro, it got gangster rap. You feel me? Like, it got pop music, it got country, got gangster rap. That's all I want to do is supply that type of music because I'm not going to abandon it. You know, everybody trying to sell records, they need to make a foundation for themselves so they can do shows for the rest of their life. You know, so if you make a genre of music, if you got Jamaican music, pop music, all this on your album, you're not gonna be consistent to one genre. You know what I'm saying? So at some point, get your pinpoint genre before you start trying to experiment and do music that other people are already doing.
No doubt.
You know what I mean? So I got a genre from Japan, from Australia, from Taiwan. It's gangsters everywhere.
And they got them W's up, bro. I mean,
yeah. But not just gang. I'm not saying like the gangster dude with the the mob guy. I'm just talking about like the dude that just want to listen to another style of music. You know what I'm saying? Like gangster music, West Coast. East Coast music is not called gangster music. It's called East Coast music. West Coast music is called gangster music.
Mm-hmm.
We made up gangster music. Down south made up crunk music, and East Coast made up rap music. So, you know, give me my gangster music. I'll supply that to the world. It would in a fury.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Let me ask you this.
Pictures, man. Do you see the pictures I'm giving you on Facebook, man?
Yeah, man. I seen it. I'm looking at it.
Okay.
I got you.
I'm giving you some selections you can use, man. You got me looking crazy. Come on, man. We on technology now, man.
For real.
Pictures of me sitting here talking to you right now. Stop it. Ask for some pictures, bro.
Jinx, you crazy, bro. Hey, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this about your West Wing album, man. This album, people can go to iTunes right now and go get it. All you got to do is search Sir Jinx, or you can search The West Wing and go pick that thing up. But man, that came to me. That came to me out of the blue, man. Like I was looking for, I was checking because I got that MC8 new one, which is dope. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, my dude got a new project. Like, you know what I'm saying? So let the listeners know how you got all the fellas together, because I know a lot of people heard Corrupt, MC8. A lot of artists is on your project, man. Let the people know what the deal was with it.
Both of the songs that y'all played was like we were doing a situation called First Generation.
And I remember that.
And we still working on it, but everybody kind of had to go to their TP and figure out better situations for themselves before we all got together, assuming that we could stand. You know what I mean? Just like grown man talk. We was like 18, 19 years old. We probably could have just ran off and, but cats got families and stuff like that, so we're going to establish more stuff like that. I mean, they trying to establish their situation so we can do more albums and more songs. But those songs came off of that idea. But I got a lot of people on my album. It's like, my sessions be open. Like, everybody that work with me know, how I get down. You know what I'm saying? I'm a real, not saying a real producer, like better than somebody, but I really stay up. I really don't eat. I really don't, you know what I'm saying, be in there from 10 o'clock at night all the way to, all the way to 9 in the morning, or even 3 o'clock in the evening to 7 o'clock in the morning. Like, I really enjoy perfecting music, so a lot of the cats that stop through. And I got a single that's out there. Y'all go check it out with J.O. Felony. You know what I'm saying? It's called Heavyweight. It's a real dope song. And like I said, it's like the West Coast got a chance to breathe, now that, we get to link up on the internet. You know what I'm saying? I'm dealing with Second to None. Y'all go check out Second to None. Y'all type in Second to None. They got a brand new the Best of Second to None. You know what I'm saying? I'm working with Boomer. Y'all type in Boomer and Boombox, and this Boomer did it, and that's KK's son from Second to None. So now we're in the second generation of hip hop. So y'all check out Boomer. His album is out there. But that was just inside my album. But I got a few people. I even work with Kid Frost. I got some Latin flavor because we've been friends forever. A lot of these dudes that's on my record, we've been friends forever. You know what I mean? So, like, the West Coast is linking up back how it was, like, in 95, like 96.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because now we got our own genre of music that we got to maintain, like cats have to maintain Dixie music or some other style music.
No
we
doubt.
got to keep gangster music alive. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's what I do.
Jinx.
Yes.
Yeah, this Mr. No Feelings.
What up, Young?
Man, you already know what it is, man. Just trying to, like, stay up, build this new West. You know how it go, man. Trying to, like, build this shit up. Been grinding hard and shit, about to drop this new album. Just called in to say what's up. What up, Brandon? What up, bro?
What up?
Shit, you know me
shoot
out
me
here.
a link. You know how it goes. It's like a soul food spot. Shoot me a link.
Everything, man.
That good
You
soul
back
food,
out
baby.
Give me one of those hot links.
Hell yeah, man.
Extra salt.
I sent some new shit in. My nigga. So, like, that shit get aired tonight. That's gonna be some brand new exclusive shit that ain't nobody heard from Mr. No Feelings. Telling you, nigga, out here, like, going hard, my nigga. Like, the West is coming back this year. Give me, like, 2 more months and we on. I'm telling you.
The number one thing I try to say is that when cats stop trying to be better than other cats, then they will be better than everybody. You know what I mean?
That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, you can't compete with somebody that's already good at what they do. That's the down. You know, that's terrible. You'll never win this way. I always tell a cat to win on his own 2 feet, get your own little fan base. You'll rather sell to 500 people rather than sell to 10,000 people that don't like you. You know what I'm saying? Because
that's
your
real.
career won't go far. Your career won't slow down. So, you know, cats got to think about, you know,
my shit on the rise. I'm on.
You know? So when I say gangster music, it don't necessarily mean it's negative. You know what I'm saying? But it's definitely street music, real, you know, cinematic West Coast music that I like to always, you know what I'm saying, get out there.
Relatable bars and relatable sounds. Like,
everything.
You know, a lot of people could be able to, you know, gravitate to that for, you know, for years on end. You know what I'm saying? No matter what generation you from. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of music that's going to win.
And that's what I'm on. Like, you know what I'm saying? These older cats and young cats, everybody got to step their bars up and get it back to when everything was music like it was in the early 90s. You know what I'm saying? And like,
well, it's just knowing the process of making emotional songs. Like we was talking about earlier, like when cats deal with the Earth, Wind, and Fire. And when you deal with Earth, Wind, and Fire, you know, you have the different musicians that's in the group that make up different parts of the emotion of the song. Now, when you compare that to not all music, West Coast, everything, when there's one producer, then the producer is not good at everything. So he's not going to do solos for the bass part. He's not going to do a breakdown for the keyboard part because he's not a keyboard player. He's a sampler. So you see at some point the song becomes one-dimensional because it doesn't go to a modulation or it doesn't go to a pre-chorus or it doesn't go to, you know what I'm saying, anything, a vamp or anything like that because the producer is only good at putting together beats. But now we're going to weed those guys out, and you're going to really have to know how to build a bridge and know what those notes mean and them strings. Now you can make music all day on your computer. So there's no excuse to not know what the emotion of the song means, not just letting it rock all the way down and taking the snare out here and there.
Right.
You know, it's a bigger process to doing production than dropping out the kick drum and the snare.
No doubt. And Jinx, tell the listeners a little bit about what you're trying to do to be able to help other up-and-coming artists, you know, just trying to get you know, just kind of help out with their projects and certain things like that.
Well, I put on my Facebook, you know what I'm saying, you guys can check me out, you know what I mean, on my Facebook. My Facebook is under General Population. That's a group that I put together with my man TriStar and my man Hoppo. That's another album I got. Y'all go check it out. It got Bone Crusher on it. It got Raz Cats on it. It's called General Population. It's called the album is called Rhyme Scene. But basically what I was saying was I got a situation where I help cats put their album together, as well as mix the album, make sure the levels is good, and the cat can contact me on my Facebook or on my email. I give you my email. It's in the mix, mysound@gmail. In the mix, mysound@gmail. And what I say is, you know what I'm saying, that I can help cats get their music sounding better. Not sounding better meaning the content of it, but just making it professional level, knowing how hot it's supposed to be, knowing how long the song should be before the consumer gets bored. Kind of almost just sequencing the album, as well as we got I got a whole plethora of videographers as well as video guys, so they're coming in with me to be able to shoot videos at real low cost, but having some nice situations popping. You know what I mean? And that's what I've been doing that anyway, because
right.
When people come in, like when I work with Exhibit and Exhibit, I haven't worked on an album Exhibit in a few years, but Exhibit will still bring me in to help them sequence the album, because that's a very, very, very crucial part when you're selling a CD. Now, in the iTunes situation is a little bit different because they deal with the most popular songs. It changes the order, so that changes how you make albums today. But if you still make albums in the CD format, then what I have going on with you contact me, I'll get your music. There's a cost to it. You know what I'm saying? Everything has a cost to it. But as you build it up, then you understand what it means to have a nice product, because you have to pay for it. If you get anything free, you better watch out. It might be stolen. So at some point,
real talk.
So when I'm dealing with cats, putting their album together, we go a little bit deeper. It's not just give me your music and I've give it to them and throw it back and be like, well, maybe you might need to change this, the third song that plays after it, because this same emotion happens 4 other times in your album. Maybe you might need to change that. Like little stuff like that, just to help cats understand the process, that the sequence of the album can be the difference of your album selling and not being good at all.
I wanted to ask you, what happened about when you went out to Oxnard and you met up with us? What happened to all them tracks and stuff that you ever linked up with any of that artists?
When I listened to the songs, I heard 2 dudes that was dope, real dope. And some people just wasn't ready. Some of the songs that I heard just wasn't ready. It wasn't ready to be in front of the 2 guys that I thought that were ready. So I'm still dealing with the 2 guys that I like.
What happened to the little tracks, though? That's what I was looking for the whole time, like that track that me
What track that we were doing in the studio?
Yeah, I was
we're going to go back and do it again. That's why I'm hooking up with Rob again, so we can bring that together and make that last connection that we did. So cats that did give me the CDs, I can come back and tell them why their CD wasn't what I thought it could be. You know what I mean? So this is going to go on forever with the seminar thing in Oxnard, because some of the cats will give CDs, and if you're not going to put no effort into your music, then I can't take it to the next level.
But how do you know who who gives you the authority to say this person's music not the hottest? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm asking.
Sometimes it's not even about the hottest, it's about the quality. And you can't take something that is not in a very high balanced quality, I can't take it to the next level. It'll fail in level. So some of the songs could be cool, but it wasn't mixed correctly, or it just wasn't studio quality. And I can tell that right off the bat. Now, if you can get your song played on the radio without it being studio quality, it's going to be very low. So to even jump into a situation like that, they would have to go back and mix the album, rather than me liking 2 other cats that were popping and cracking. They were real dope. 2 other guys were dope. One of the guy from Detroit, and the guy Mark Ford was dope. They were closer to the edge of what I think could be ready for dropping material.
So it's that overall sound as far as, you know, just not just the quality of the lyrics and, you know, and stuff like that. It's just basically just embodying everything that is, you know, hip hop music on certain tracks, right?
Some cats' music sound good, but maybe they needed to work on different raps, or maybe, you know, process their lyrics a little bit different. When I listen to raps, I listen to the cadence of it. I listen to the topics, how fast you come to a conclusion, if you rhyme, if you don't, if you know how to rap in the more Philly format, if you rap in the more Queensbridge format. I see that immediately. It's like Ultimate Fight. It's like as soon as you see somebody fall on their back, they doing grappling. So as soon as I hear somebody rhyme, I know exactly what they're doing. So if it's not good, I can't escape it. If I lie to this person, I should have been lying years ago. And this is just what I believe. And I didn't work with G-Rap and Exhibit and Cube. So I don't know anybody that worked with that caliber of MCs throughout their career to where I can say I really have an output on what's a good freestyle rapper, or are you good at it. Some dudes assume that some dudes assume that throwing threats in your rap make you tighter, but it don't. It just make you throw intimidation in your rap. You remember when Common Sense went at Cube and he went at him calm and he won. He didn't threaten Cube not once in that song. But he was just an MC, and that's how I kind of look at. Like I said, I don't look at it like the kill people, but you know, if you a dope MC, you're a dope MC. I'll tell you straight up, I have nothing to hide when you're a dope MC. But when the cat is not that talented and he's selling a story over a flow, then I know that too. You know what I mean? Like some cats play your music like me. I've been in the pen. I've been in the club. I've been shot. Yeah, it is true, but you're not a good rapper.
Yeah, so it's the real truth right here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, hey, bro, you got one of the song. It's called "Go Harder." I want your honest opinion on live radio. Like when you hear this track, I want your honest opinion on that track and see if that.
You can't stagger me like that, bro.
You know what I'm saying? I just want your honest. I just want your honest opinion. Like this is the real truth. This
but
is what radio is.
My opinion don't really matter if we're not doing business.
I just like.
I wouldn't give it. I don't throw it out like that. Like I
understand that, but you talking like you got that type of like opinion. I'm asking you for your honest opinion on the track.
But it also comes with the process of working with me as well.
Right.
You feel me? Like I can't critique your music. You might be, you know, the top of the line.
I'm that nigga. I'm that nigga from the West.
Yeah, but I can't critique what I'm not a part of. That's all.
I was a part of your group. That's what I'm asking you. You can do this.
Because you young, obviously, and if you're young and you're doing music and you didn't learn it from me, I applaud you because I had to learn it from somebody else too.
Yeah.
So some people's music is good, but working with me and doing music with me, it takes a different kind of process. So some people
that's how I am. That's how I am. That's why when I went over there and did that song with you, I thought it was going to be a different process over there too.
No, it ain't over. Man, some of the songs that I work on be from 2003, from 2005. I mean, different rap, different music take flight differently. And the stuff that we're doing out there in Oxnard is going to be a process. But at the end of the day, everybody's going to be up to speed because we really didn't have a way we were doing stuff. I was just kind of like making it dope for the night, you know what I mean? But me and Rob have talked already, and we learned how to bring that back. So if anybody needs up close, conversations about their situation, it would be because they're working with Rob. You feel me? So I'll come in there and tell them, like, okay, yeah, you good at this and you good at that, but maybe your beat might need to be better. A lot of cats don't assume that their beat is whack. They be like, oh, you're not giving me no love. But at the end of the day, the beat is whack. And then, some people don't
yeah, you got
owe
shout
you.
out Robert recording.
Yeah, but some people don't owe you that response, though. Some people don't owe cats, your beat is whack right there. They don't owe you that. They don't want to put you down. They'll just let you keep walking and close the door when you leave. But I'm a little bit different. I'll be like, well, maybe you might need to change the track. Or maybe you might need to woo-woo-woo. But we definitely going to go back into it. And all the cats of the 18 CDs that I got from that spot, we're going to break everybody down and bring them in at least, one at a time. So that is still ongoing.
What's a couple of good things you can be able to tell the next guy that's trying to get put on? I mean, when I say put on, because it's a different way of doing business now versus doing your own independent hustle versus trying to get a deal. Do you still believe in record deals? And if you don't, like, what's some of the tips you can be able to give a couple of people out there really trying to grind out they music hustle?
Well, the record deal still exists, but now it exists from having video views and plays and likes, and now that's kind of a good thing because a long time ago, cats would get put on with somebody say so. You know what I'm saying? To where now, can't nobody, Jimmy Iovine can't lie about your Twitter views. I mean, your Twitter fans or your YouTube views. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a difference now that makes it to where cats got to be more control over their own destiny.
Right.
So a long time ago, it was like they kind of got in on a favor because nobody can go into the background and look into the artist and see that they got these things already established, that these people already like this artist. So the record deal still exists. You heard about T.I., yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Record deal still exists. So, but it just exists when you have established a reason to be bought and nobody can't front you in no more.
Okay.
That's over with. Nobody can't be like, yo, I got my man, I'm taking him up to Def Jam. Yeah, not anymore.
Yeah, those days is kind of long gone now because, you had them back in the, the 80s, 90s or whatnot. So now it's a whole different deal.
But having that kind of power changed the game. You know what I'm saying? Letting certain rappers become rappers that, that hurt the rap game. You know what I'm saying? At some point that got on because, for that reason. You know what I mean? But, at some point, when you're an independent artist, like I say, you have to establish your fan base. You have to set up your internet real estate. If you don't have your internet real estate popping, you shouldn't even be on the internet. Because now you're just a flyby. You're like a busboy. You ain't nothing on the internet unless you establish your Facebook, your Twitter, your Tumblr, your Instagram. And people be like, I don't want to deal with that. Well, then you don't want to sell any units. Because if I sell on my Facebook, I got a couple of fans on there. I got 60-something thousand, Twitter something. At some point, I'm building different people in different. It might be the same people on all four circles. I mean, all four squares. But at the same time, they're going to get information fed to them from 4 different chambers or 6 different chambers. I'm bound to sell my music if you set up your internet real estate. Because it's free. The internet is free to set it up. Now that everybody got iPhones.
It's a free enterprise.
If you can't sell no units now on the internet, it's not because people are hating on you. It's because your music is not good. And that's just the fact about it, because there's too many people on the internet to say, to be able to say, oh, this guy is this or this guy is that. It's too many people on the internet. You got to find somebody that like you.
Right.
It's not, the whole internet can't hate you. At some point, somebody got to like you. And if nobody don't like you, it's because your music is not good. That's just like trying to sell somebody dirt to eat. At some point, they're going to figure it out.
Right.
You ain't going to be able to sell it to nobody. The hottest
No
dirt
doubt.
in town. Come get it.
Mm-hmm.
And no baby like, he sell dirt.
Reverend Jinx is our guest on the New Truth Radio for the Underground. And before we let you go, man, like one of the things that I always used to take from getting some information and a wealth of knowledge from, somebody like yourself, and we've had Cube on a couple of different occasions. We had X to the Z on not too long ago. What's the one thing that I could tell you as far as my appreciation for a lot of shit that you did, not just in the past but helping out others for a future is just like you said. I mean, you do a lot of shit in a conversation we had not too long ago before we went on air. I mean, I could tell you roll with a humble heart. Like, I mean, just kind of, what I mean, it might be a dumbass question, but I mean, where do you get that humble nature that you have? I mean, shit, you rocking platinum, contributions with working with Cube, Dub C, etc. But I mean, how do you roll with such a humble heart, bro?
I just try to be good at what I do, and I always tell cats, anything that substitute talent is hater. So if you 100% talented, you have no reason to hate on nobody or be in somebody else's business. If you 100% talented, you feel me? If you good, you have no reason to be thinking, oh, why he on? Only people that got time to think like that is people that are subpar at what they do. And I really feel in my heart that I have contributed something to the music industry. And, I don't believe my time is over. I believe, people like Quincy Jones with trumpet players and went to band leaders and then went to producers and movie score. I believe I'm in my infant stage, or I wouldn't say infant stage, but I'd say more teenage stage of my career. And it's a whole bunch more because I care about it, obviously. So it's definitely going to be more that's coming out, even with, the people that I'm putting out with my distribution company, with Stacey Adams from TriStar to Box. I got my homie named Box. His album is called Outside the Box, and he was in Florida. So, he worked with Pimp C. He worked with BG. So I got a lot of flavors on my distribution situation. I am a West Coast person, but I do love hip hop. So at some point, I like all kind of music when it's come to getting it to the music, getting it to the, to the consumer. And then I got another cat named Clinton Place. He's out here. He's a producer. And I deal with another producer named Bird. And Bird is like one of the cats that be working with Swiss Beats. And he got an instrumental album out that we put out called The Prescription. Because even with a lot of MCs that, pigeonhole a lot of the producers, I encourage a lot of the producers just to take them beats that they've been throwing to the wayside and just put them up and just let people buy them and make them entertaining without the lyrics on them. So I started an instrumental division in my company to where I already got 3 albums out. One is called Jinxstrumentals. You can get that on iTunes. It's a bunch of instrumentals. You can get The City Never Sleeps. And then I got another one called Next Man's Treasure. And then I'm sure you understand why that named that, because if I make a beat for somebody and they don't tend to want it, then somebody else gonna want it. So I got a beat that I didn't work and thought they was gonna get placements over here and thought they was gonna get placements over here, but it just didn't happen.
Right.
But when I put these albums together, these instrumental albums, then cats from all over the world will grab one of my instrumentals and put like J. Cole on it or put like Tupac on it and put it on like YouTube. They'll call me and ask me for permission, and I don't care. You know how people, get little money off of YouTube. I don't care. As long as you put Sir Jinx up there, and let them know where they can buy the original instrumental, it's good. So I got that going on, and I got a pop artist as well. His name is Just in Time, and y'all can check that out. It's called Somebody to Love. It's a dope song. Like I said, I'm doing all kind of music. We're gonna do spoken word, Jamaican music. I'm gonna do it all. But
that's what's up.
You know, but every time I do it, it's from a West Coast point of view.
Amen to that. Amen to that.
Yes.
Two quick ones.
And then one thing, my other album, Hood War Order. Y'all can check that out. I just put it out like last year, but it's out there, the Hood War Order. And I know I'm forgetting somebody, and they're gonna be mad. Oh, and the Deadly Threat, man. Come on, man. We got the Deadly Threat, the Animal Channel, Deadly Threat, and the LA Zoo. We got that album out there. So if y'all remember Deadly Threat, then you know that no MC can get away. We got a whole brand new album out. So y'all go check that out. Y'all love this West Coast that I'm got right now, that I'm establishing my foundation with the West Coast, and then I'll go off and do other types of music like I'm doing.
There you go. And two quick questions. One's not really a question; it's more of a comment. But one quick question about movies and TV. A lot of people know you had the small cameo in Poetic Justice back in '93, and you did you did something for Jimmy Kimmel and the Orlando Jones show back in the not too long ago. So I mean, any movies or TV things you trying to work on doing, or and plus you was on the Basement back in the day when BET was really rocking, right?
Yeah. Man, it was crazy doing the BET situations when they changed from DC to Harlem.
Mm-hmm.
So I did a lot of shows, but the cats can check me out on that. Was it 20-year reunion of the riots? They got that out. That's on VH1, and a lot of cats been checking me out. And people was like, "Jinx, I see you on TV." I feel like Grady from like Sam and Son. People be just yelling obscenities at me.
I see you on TV.
Yeah. Like, that's what I'm supposed to be. You don't have to tell me. I see myself, too.
And one quick thing I want you to do for me is to pass this on to the homies from Second to None. Like, my brother, I have an older brother who's resting in peace. He passed away well over 10 years. One of the things, if you could let them know, like, my brother was a major fan of Second to None. Like, he was the one that turned me on to Second to None. With them classic joints that they had back in the day, Be True to Yourself and If You Want It and shit like that. So, one of these days, let them know they need to come on to this station and rock with us for a little while. Cause,
man, I mean, it's nothing, man. I mean, I can call on a three-way and call KK right now. I mean, it's nothing.
We definitely got it, man. We definitely got to get them on. But for you, man, I appreciate you taking the time to hang out with me, bruh, and thank you, man. Like I said, you got a wealth of information, a wealth of music, resume. Your music is your resume, and your resume is super long with a lot of memories, bruh. And
I'm just stepping up now, with a lot of cats. Like I said, sometimes you got to step back and let people make a fool of themselves, and then you know what I'm saying. Then you continue. So that's basically what I've been doing, learning a little bit more about the music industry, learning more about distribution, manufacturing, retail, knowing how to deal with the different people from around the world, the different kinds of money, that somebody needed to learn that for hip hop rather than other people, just blindfolding us, robbing us for everything that we got, because like I say, a person with no talent will rob you.
That's right.
So I know what it feels like for a producer to get robbed for his production. So at some point, like I say, I got my man Bird with the prescription. This is because I know how to do the publishing thing. I know where his situation should be. I know what he should be getting, and he happy. These are cats that give me beats that they still want to sell. You feel me?
No doubt.
But putting these instrumentals out, You know, there's a lot of cats that's in prison. They starting to be able to get, CDs and downloadable music in prison. So at some point, I was like, yo, I know the cats be wanting to write to music that don't have lyrics on them. So that's one reason why I really went hard for the instrumental records. And I got a few more, but they're in the works. But I got a bunch more of instrumental records that I got coming.
There we go. Man, looking forward to it and looking forward to it all. Y'all go pick up the West Wing and all that
the
is
West Wing.
Sir Jinx, and
yeah,
go follow him
on
on Twitter.
You know, I'm DJing for Obama on the inauguration. You know that, right?
Hey, for real?
nah, I'm joking.
hey, that's gonna
but
be.
At least it sounded good.
Hey, for
at
real,
least he brought into it a little bit.
Hey, that was about to be the new truth, man. A lot of people was about to go hit that internet buzz and be like, "Yo, Jinx about to do that." You know what I mean? It's going down.
The Democrats, is blue. You know, they had a West Coast look. You know what I mean?
Yeah. West Side?
Yeah. He'll come out walking, him and Michelle be walking with the kids. Jumping in the air. Yeah.
Hey, y'all go follow Jinx on Twitter at Sir Jinx, Jinx.
Yeah, hit me and let me know y'all heard it, man. I want to hear some cats, you know what I'm saying? If y'all out there chilling, hit me around the clock, man. I tell you, man, I'll be up more than an owl, man. I see more than an owl sees.
Hey, you know what? You got to keep building that legacy, baby. You don't sleep for that. You know what I mean?
Oh,
keep
don't stop, keep it going. Man. Like the Teddy Riley situation, it ain't over.
It ain't over.
Wasn't that his catchphrase? I can't use that one. It's already used. I got to be like, it ain't done.
It ain't over. It ain't done. It ain't over.
I need a catchphrase. That's what I need. I need a cool catchphrase.
Hey, we gonna have to fuck with it, man. Hey, blessed to see you, Jinx, man. I'll be at you, man, because we definitely got to talk on the side. So I got you, man. I got you.
Oh, word, man. It's been a pleasure, man. This is the beginning, man.
Indeed.
Nexxlegacy.